Vegan side effect. People seem to be drawn to you.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Shall kinship with Caesar or any other of the great at Rome be enough to hedge men around with safety and consideration, without a thought of apprehension, while to have God for our Maker and Father and kinsman, shall not this set us free from sorrows and fears? Please continue watching for the practical wisdom of Stoic philosopher Epictetus.
Thermou χαιρετισμού, αγαπητοί θεατές, means warm greetings, dear viewers. In Greek, I'm Dimitris. The amicable people of Crete Island are inspired by your noble virtues. May you find inner peace and serenity in the grace of the divine. Epictetus was a Greek Stoic philosopher who lived in the 1st and 2nd centuries CE. He was born in Phrygia, present-day Turkey, and during his youth was a slave in Rome to an important administrator in the court of the emperor. At an early age, Epictetus developed a significant interest in philosophy. With his owner's permission, he studied under Gaius Musonius Rufus, who along with Epictetus is now considered one of the great Stoic philosophers of the Roman Empire. After acquiring his freedom in 68 CE, young Epictetus became a teacher of philosophy in Rome, later continuing his practice in northwestern Greece by founding a philosophical school there. Epictetus, who led a simple lifestyle with very few possessions, taught a practical philosophy to help people lead meaningful lives. He emphasized integrity, personal freedom, and self-mastery through the use of reason and virtue, which is required to live in accordance with nature. The detailed steps and techniques in this regard presented in his teachings illustrate Stoicism as a way of life. Epictetus' teachings have had an immense influence throughout the centuries, including on the great philosopher and Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, on early Christian moral thought, on current approaches to psychology and more, and continues to have an impact on many intellectuals, thinkers and philosophers around the world. The beloved Stoic philosopher and teacher was remembered as a lively speaker who was able to make his listeners feel his own insights. The Golden Sayings of Epictetus, compiled and translated by Hastings Crosley, contains over 180 sayings of the wise philosopher in the form of aphorisms, parables, and short lessons expounding on Stoic philosophy. We are now delighted to present to you selected excerpts from the Golden Sayings of Epictetus. If a man could be thoroughly penetrated, as he ought, with this thought, that we are all in an especial manner sprung from God, and that God is the Father of men, as well as of gods, full surely he would never conceive to be ignoble, not honourable, or below of himself. Whereas, if Caesar were to adopt you, your haughty looks would be intolerable. Will you not be elated at knowing that you are the Son of God? Now, however, it is not so with us, but seeing that in our birth these two things are commingled, mixed, the body which we share with the animals, and the reason and thought which we share with the gods, many decline towards this unhappy kingship with the dead, few rise to the blessed kingship with the divine. Since then, everyone must deal with each thing according to the view which he forms about it. Those few who hold that they are born for fidelity, modesty, and unerring sureness in dealing with things of sense, never conceive to be below or ignoble, not honourable of themselves, but the multitude the contrary. Why, what am I, a wretched human creature with this miserable flesh of mine? Miserable indeed, but you have something better than that paltry flesh of yours. Why then cling to the one and neglect the other? Thou art but a poor soul laden with a lifeless body. The other day I had an iron lamp placed beside my household gods. I heard a noise at the door, and on hasting down found my lamp carried off. I reflected that the culprit was in no very strange case. Tomorrow, my friend, I said, you will find an earthenware lamp, for a man can only lose what he has. The reason why I lost my lamp was that the thief was superior to me in vigilance. He paid, however, this price for the lamp, that in exchange for it he consented to become a thief, in exchange for it to become faithless. But God has introduced man to be a spectator of himself and of his works, and not a spectator only, but also an interpreter of them. Wherefore it is a shame for man to begin and to leave off where the brutes do. Rather he should begin there and leave off where nature leaves off in us. And that is at contemplation and understanding, and a manner of life that is in harmony with herself. See then that you die not without being spectators of these things. You journey to Olympia to see the work of Phidias, and each of you holds it a misfortune not to have beheld these things before you die. Whereas, when there is no need even to take a journey, but you are on the spot with the works before you, have you no care to contemplate and study these? Will you not then perceive either who you are, or unto what end you were born, or for what purpose the power of contemplation has been bestowed on you? Well, but in life there are some things disagreeable and hard to bear. And are there none at Olympia? Are you not scorched by the heat? Are you not cramped for room? Have you not to bathe with discomfort? Are you not drenched when it rains? Have you not to endure the clamour and shouting and such annoyances as these? Well, I suppose you set all this over against the splendour of the spectacle and bear it patiently. What then, have you not received greatness of heart, received courage, received fortitude? What care I, if I am great of heart? For to be that can come to pass. What shall cast me down or disturb me? What shall seem painful? Shall I not use the power to the end for which I received it, instead of moaning and wailing over what comes to pass? If what philosophers say of the kinship of God and man be true, what remains for men to do but as Socrates did, never when asks one's country to answer, I am an Athenian or a Corinthian, but I am a citizen of the world. He that has grasped the administration of the world, who has learned that this community, which consists of God and men, is the foremost and mightiest and most comprehensive of all, that from God have descended the germs of life, not to my father only, and father's father, but to all things that are born and grow upon the earth, and in an especial manner to those endowed with reason. For those only are by their nature fitted to hold communion with God, being by means of reason conjoined with him. Why should not such one call himself a citizen of the world? Why not a son of God? Why should he fear to be that comes to pass among men? Shall kingship with Caesar or any other of the great at Rome be enough to hedge men around with safety and consideration, without a thought of apprehension, while to have God for our Maker and Father and Kinsman, shall not this set us free from sorrows and fears? I do not think that an old fellow like me need have been sitting here to try and prevent your entertaining abject notions of yourselves, and talking of yourselves in an abject and ignoble, not honourable way, but to prevent there being by chance among you any such young men as, after recognising their kindred to the gods, and their bondage in these chains of the body and its manifold necessities, should desire to cast them off as burdens too grievous to be borne, and depart their true kindred. This is the struggle in which your master and teacher, were he worthy of the name, should be engaged. You would come to me and say, Epictetus, we can no longer endure being chained to this wretched body, giving food and drink and rest and purification. I, and for its sake forced to be subservient to this man and that. Are these not things indifferent and nothing to us? Is it not true that death is no evil? Are we not in a manner kinsmen of the gods, and have we not come from them? Let us depart towards that place whence we came. Let us be freed from these chains that confine and press us down. Here are thieves and robbers and tribunals, and they that are called tyrants, who deem that they have after a fashion power over us because of the miserable body and what appertains to it. Let us show them that they have power over none. And to this I reply, friends, wait for God. When he gives the signal and releases you from this service, then depart to him. But for the present, endure to dwell in the place wherein he has assigned you your post. Short indeed is the time of your habitation therein, and easy to those that are minded. What tyrant, what robber, what tribunals have any terrors for those who thus esteem the body and all that belong to it as of no account? Stay, depart not rashly hence. Serene viewers, we appreciate your kind presence for today's program on Words of Wisdom. May all your noble aspirations be realized in the infinite care of the Providence. Vegan side effect. You will love yourself and others more.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/WOW.
మా కార్యక్రమాలు అందజేస్తున్నాయి అనేక భాషలలో. దయచేసి చూడండి suprememastertv.com/schedule మరియు suprememastertv.com/WOW